Switch me on.
Weekend Harder.
Here I come. Oh.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
Hey, bro. Wanna make an easy $200? Was this like a thing?
Please, disperse! Nothing to see here, please! Mason, what happened? Are you okay?
Weekend Harder. Nope.
Oh, I was kidding. Yeah, what's up? What do you mean, man?
Behold!
My stuff.
Weekend Harder.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together. Have a few laughs.
Hey.
Boo.
Boo. Hello and welcome.
What's up?
Beard, you got anything?
I don't know, man.
Welcome everyone to After the Weekend, Weekend Harder. This is the podcast that happens on Saturday nights when we talk about movies, pop culture, and more. More being Beard Liberty and his lawn care.
Can I say?
How often do you flex in the mirror?
We don't need to talk about that.
Over under 10.
You know, let's just take some. People can guess. You know, use your imagination. I mean, okay. I do hog the mirror a lot if I've got anybody over that needs to use a bathroom. So I don't have any hair to do, so I find other uses there. You know.
Okay. Well, it's Saturday night. Did you have a good week?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. It's not the best week I've ever had, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, we had.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, you know, I know what you need. I know what you need.
Oh no.
I love you. You love me. We're a
Well, jokes aside, not to sound super sentimental or anything, but doing the show with you guys this week has been a bright spot. So,
Aww. That's what she said.
That's what I get for getting sentimental.
It's okay. We don't get a sentimental here, right, Rick? We don't cry.
No. Nor am I going to show anybody my bright spot.
Tabitha says it's her jam.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Tabitha. How you doing?
Good to see you.
But we had fun reviewing Evolution on Monday. That was fun.
Oh yes.
We did.
And if you haven't checked that out, yeah, go please do. It was a fun review. But we do have another guest tonight, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce him, Beard? You want to
Sure.
do the honors?
Throat will clear. Yeah, this is I would consider him a buddy. And he's got a great podcast called the I Had to Say It podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, meet Aaron.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the touching introduction, Beard. I'm glad to say I consider you a buddy as well.
I really appreciate the invite, you guys. I do enjoy listening to the show when I get a chance.
Okay.
I'm not as great about watching it. I was telling the guys before we were in the green room. More for me, it's I tend to catch the replays. I turn it on at work and like set my phone up off to the side, and I kind of glance up while I'm working and doing stuff.
Hey,
but I listen because I got my headphones on. And
that's all we ask. That's really all we ask.
And I appreciate the entertainment and the opinions, and I enjoy it. That's honestly, I'm kind of a like pop culture deficient, so you guys are kind of how I keep tabs on, so I get the jokes on social media and stuff.
Oh, really?
It's like old peopling it in the corner. Like, when I was a young man, social media was what you wrote on the stalls at the restrooms. We had memes. They were pictures of dicks. I mean,
pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do appreciate what you guys do, and I appreciate you having me on. So
yeah, we're excited. So it should be a fun night. We've got.
Is this your first time being on like a nerd show?
I suppose it's a matter of perspective, because there's a lot of. I mean, depends on how you're defining nerd things per se. I mean, you guys are, with the Marvel and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. I mean, that's maybe the first time I've really been on a show that's more focused on it. But the vast majority of the people I've interacted with since I got into this stuff have been pretty nerd centric, I guess is a good way of putting it, or nerd adjacent, depending on some of the people. But I've been involved in some D&D campaigns that were being streamed. I've done a couple of one-offs. I've done just random stuff where we get on and talk about whatever. I did a couple of shows that were themed around drinking and talking about nerd shit. Now a lot of the shows at this point are ones that have gone by the wayside, unfortunately, because as the world got back into motion after COVID, there was a lot of die-off in the podcasting world, and
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I've done my fair share, and well, my nerddom is maybe a little more dated. I do feel that it's there. I'm kind of one of the like elder nerds where it was like it's a lot harder to when I was getting into nerdy stuff. It was a lot starting to be more accepted, but at the same time, it was kind of like there are certain things you still weren't going to mention when if I was in high school and you were trying to get laid, there were certain things you just didn't bring up. So whereas now it's kind of more like you will find girls that will admit they're into the same stuff, and it's awesome, at least based on what everything I've seen from my old man perspective, where I'm like, oh, that's nice for you young people. Back in the 90s. Yeah, I had all of Tolkien's books, but I still had to play football if I wanted to touch a side boob. So, I mean,
oh man,
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, speaking of nerds, we do have
I'm clipping the hell out of this. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you are now probably going to be internet famous from R2 clipping you.
Damn it! Why did you have to say that on air? Now R2's never going to let me live it down.
Yep.
Yeah,
he gets us all the time.
Risk.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, like I said, there's nothing wrong with nerds. There's never been anything wrong with nerds. They even made a movie in the 80s, Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes, and it's so problematic by today's standards, but
it's awesome.
I think that may have actually been where I saw my first boob too, for that matter.
I was gonna say, Ogre is Beard's uncle.
Well, we're happy. Right. We're happy to have you here. Like I said, we have quite a few people watching already, and that's good stuff. Awesome. Hopefully, little Spidey has already left before he heard all the boobs and dicks.
No, I saw him come in and go back out, so I think we're.
You're gonna make R2 giggle too much. He won't be able to talk. Let's see.
He's just gonna sit back and watch.
We've got Miss R2, so I'm sure she's having a good time right now. Yeah. And Jacob, I was just over on his channel. We were reviewing ghost stories written by the author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Washington Irving. So that was a fun stream that we did. So after you watch this one, if you haven't seen that one, go back and watch that. But that was fun. We did that with Miss Martin Muse.
JT had a smoking jacket on and a pipe.
A mushroom pipe.
Yeah.
No.
Well, he was.
I had nothing of the sort.
There was a.
I thought you were about to say you had nothing on.
Lovely crushed velour smoking jacket.
Yeah. And speaking of girls, no. I just had no. Speaking of girls, we have Nicole. She always shows up.
Hey,
so
Nicole.
We do get some ladies in the chat, and you already saw
Beard's biggest critic.
That's right.
And yes, hello.
I don't know. I think to be fair, I think Beard is Beard's biggest critic.
That's true.
This is actually a good opportunity because I just like to occasionally give him a little flack for being so hard on himself because I think the guy's awesome.
That's what she said. Michael.
Very nice.
I don't take compliments well. Shut up.
It's okay.
I'm glad he doesn't blame me just because I invited him on this show, and then when I was filling in for JT over on his channel,
you started this.
I know.
I'm glad you did. I like to see people get out of their.
And you were on like 8750, and
yeah.
You Beard, you get a round of applause.
All right, so we have stuff to talk about other than me tonight, right? Please say yes.
No, we're only. Hey, look who showed up! I haven't seen him in a while.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Good to see you. No, you do have a list.
It's all about you, Beard.
All about you. Yep.
All about you.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. We got a grade A suck up. Good to know. Good to know.
Anyway.
Hey,
you made
Martin Muse.
Yeah, she was also on the stream with me and Jacob. So
hey, Jacob did not deny what I claimed happened over there.
What was that?
What you were dressed as or dressed in.
That's a good point.
Already forgotten.
Well, you could go watch it. That would deny it.
That's also a good point.
Yeah, very good. Hey, Nicole says she's single. Hey, Beard. Wink, wink.
Yeah, you're
on the magic
I don't
hat.
like that spotlight.
Sometimes I love a flaccid weekend, though.
Well, I was just gonna say, well, you already showed it. His lawn mowing ability, but he's also got some dance moves too.
Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride the whip. Ghost ride the whip. Now scrape.
I knew my neighbor was filming me. Jesus.
Okay, we don't. If you're new here, we don't just play clips. We do have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
And Beard's like, please, because he did a really good job. Again, he made most of the list tonight. So, congratulations.
He did. Well, yeah. Other than the two people that have passed away, we're going to talk about everything else. Beard found.
Good job. Yeah, breaking news. And it's sad to say, Friends actor Matthew Perry found dead in a jacuzzi. This actually happened when I was on Jacob's stream. We talked about it for a little bit.
Yeah. This was released like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. So no foul play, no drugs or alcohol, but he drowned in his jacuzzi so far.
Some articles have mentioned that it looks like he went into cardiac arrest. So,
yeah.
Suddenly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he also had he's been open about his history with drugs and alcohol. And you hit that stuff that's so hard for so long, you get irrecoverable injuries to things like your heart. So,
or you turn into Keith Richards. So
he's basically a mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad. He was out of the whole Friends crew, I always thought he was one of the funniest. And and it's hard to believe that he's only 54. That's like literally 12 years older than me.
Yeah.
And that's because I remember watching Friends, always thought he was older. Clearly he wasn't. And he I always liked him, also liked him in Fools Rush In. That was also a fun movie that he was in. But he was always like the spastic friend, and I'm sure we all have had one of those. So speaking of spastic friend, here's one. Ryan. Good to see you, man. But yeah, it was
Ryan.
It's too bad that it's just too young.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was pretty shocking. I mean, when I saw it, it had just posted, and I had to read it like 3 times because I was like, wait, what? He died? So
yeah.
Sad.
That's wild.
So the first statement I saw about it was actually from an account where I had to go, this has got to be a joke. And unfortunately, oh no.
Yeah, Fools Rush In is one of my favorite 1990s. Yeah, mine too. It was a fun movie.
It's a cute movie. That's my wife and I watch that every so often.
Yeah, and then this happened earlier in the week, but Richard Mole from Night Court passed away too at 80, which
that's a good life.
Yeah,
I mean, I was
still.
surprised to hear that he was 80.
Yeah, I didn't think he was that old.
Yeah.
Well, it just made me realize how like long ago Night Court was.
Did you even watch Night Court?
When Night Court came on, I was usually like, okay, it's time to go to bed.
When Night Court came on, it was like Nick at Night.
Yeah. It was... But I was saying though that was usually like 9:30. I want to say Nick at Night came on.
Yeah, I never really had an entertainment connection with him. So, I mean, Matthew Perry, yes, but
well, I just found out today that this guy was the voice of Two-Face in the animated series, Batman the Animated Series. Had no idea.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He did great at that.
Yeah.
Well, I just watched the other day was Sidekicks, and he plays the gym teacher in that. And
Sidekick.
Yeah, that's a Chuck Norris
movie.
Oh, and that with the kid that passed away.
Yeah, well, he committed suicide. I can't think of his name right now.
Just bringing up sad news.
I know, but yeah, and he was he was pretty tall too. He was 6'8". John Larroquette, who was on Night Court, he's I think 6'4" or 6'5", and still
he towered over him.
He towered over him. He was sad.
He was a tall person. So
yeah.
So here's the question, and I don't ask this to make light of these, but people always say that these things happen in threes. So do you think we're like within 48 hours of another announcement?
Oh, that.
I don't know if I necessarily buy into that.
Did I ever tell you about the day that Steve Martin died?
Steve Martin's not dead, Mike.
I know.
Well, I was going to say, but did any other person pass away this week that we just didn't hear about it? Like,
yeah.
Maybe
no, anyway,
some older actor, but yeah, no, I know. I kind of thought that too when I saw Matthew Perry. I was like, "Who's number 3?"
Yeah. See, this is just where I'm probably a slightly more horrible person. Every time I hear of 2, I start going, "Come on, reality star." I'm just, it's like I'm petty enough to hope it's somebody that's not too particularly talented. I mean, what do we got to do to get a Kardashian?
It's never the ones that you're okay with,
right? I mean, it's never going to be they found Tia Tequila OD'd in a frigging hot tub somewhere. It's going to be somebody that actually contributes to society.
It's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Well,
on to hopefully more.
Prayers to their family for both. I know that's a rough time for anyone that has anyone pass away. So, yeah. Oh, Rich Roundtree passed away earlier this week.
Oh, not Shaft.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Man, you're always forgetting the black man.
I blame Beard for that.
Anywho,
on to hopefully some more happier news.
Ooh,
Henry Cavill for the Highlander reboot.
yeah.
Are you really happy about this?
Well, here's the thing that kind of gives me hope. Again, with any reboots these days, you have to take it with a grain of salt or maybe a whole shaker. But excuse me, Cavill is already kind of known in the industry as being hard to work with when you're not sticking to the source material, and so him being cast and involved in it makes me think that they're going to try to stick closer to what was already done before.
Yeah,
now,
but
from what I read, that includes a little bit of like the TV show, which wasn't great. But I, based on what I read, I think I kind of understand how they're going to try to roll that into the main story without getting nearly as convoluted.
We were tricked that way with The Witcher too.
Yes, but this is post Witcher. Whenever he's started putting his foot down. And I don't think anybody wants to work with him on kind of a nerdy project.
So is he going to be McLeod or is he going to be a different person?
I think he's going to be the lead, McLeod.
Okay.
Well, wasn't like the first season of The Witcher, fairly good. And it wasn't until like the second one when they really started to divert.
They started to, yeah.
Second one.
I thought the first season was pretty good.
First one was good. It was the second season.
Second season where they're kind of like, this don't track.
And then the third season was even worse. So.
I will admit I didn't watch the third season. So,
well, Aaron, what's your opinion on this with them doing Highlander?
I have thoughts. It could be. I mean, as we just said with the Witcher, I mean, Henry Cavill knows how to wield a sword, so there's that. I mean, it could be potentially some pretty good combat in the reboot. If they don't bastardize the source material too much, it could be good. And that's like you said, he's been known to be difficult when you want to diverge from source material on beloved properties, which more power to him for that. On the other side of that coin, like Christopher Lambert, not a big dude, and Henry Cavill is not insignificant. So if they're going to get another towering barbarian to be the counterpoint against him, they're going to have to find a big ass dude. So kind of makes you wonder how the recast would really work if they're going to try and stick to the original story. Or
I'm curious because the first movie was written and finished, and then they decided to do a sequel that made no sense. So I'm wondering if they're going to write it to where there could be at least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
From a little bit that I've read, it kind of sounds like they're going to be taking The Gathering, and I don't mean of the Juggalos.
Thank God.
Take The Gathering kind of premise where, you do have all of these immortals, but every few generations they get called together until there is only one. And so I think as opposed to like the first movie, if I remember correctly, it's more of just kind of a one-on-one thing. It's going to be multiple individuals coming together, and that can lend itself to a pretty exciting movie because you have a lot more opportunity for some really awesome sword battles and things like that.
Are we going to get a Scottish guy playing a Spaniard?
I don't know if we're going to stick
catering to a Frenchman.
I was going to say maybe it'll be a Scottish guy playing a Frenchman instead, where he's like,
that kind of sounded like a Wookiee.
Well,
really did. There you go.
You don't sound like a.
That's really good, Ryan.
I mean, if they don't try and do like shot for shot remake and they actually reboot it, give it their own spin and try to kind of point it in a better direction, like Beard said, then I say I am excited for this. At the same time, I wish we were getting something more original, but the fact that Henry Cavill's in it and how serious he takes everything, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, and the action is going to be pretty good. You can pretty much count on that as long as the director, he did John Wick, as long as he stays attached to the project, because the guy obviously knows how to shoot action and not just gunplay, hand-to-hand fighting. And I think even the writer for John Wick 4 is attached to the project too. So
okay.
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
We'll see. But this was this has been like rumored for a while, and a little bit of news kind of trickled out here and there. But this was kind of like the week where it got a big push of kind of confirmed information.
Gotcha.
Exciting.
Also, want to mention that
it is exciting. I'll tell you that it's cool because Highlander hasn't been like a thing really since that TV show. So there is a fan base, and like you said, instead of remaking another Batman, maybe this will be the thing to do it.
Yep.
I just would say to Logical Spock, thank you. Yes, Jonathan Brandis was the kid in Sidekicks.
Yeah, because he was in that Sequest show.
Yeah,
DSV, right? Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
I'm just curious. Like I said, I wonder who's going to play the baddie, because that baddie in Highlander, the original, he was terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Clancy Brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was terrifying.
Oh yeah.
The Kurgan
with his neck, and then he was like driving around with that lady in his car, and he's like, ah. Yeah, it was. He terrified me. So, anyways,
I almost called him the Keurig.
The Keurig.
The
Keurig. Fine cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then hang on. Get the next round. So another kind of big topic going around is Snow White. There's more Snow White drama going on, and some interesting things have kind of developed in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And but we'll go with the newest, and one, they've delayed Snow White until spring of 2025.
Yeah,
a lot of people are saying reshoots,
and
it's going to take a lot of work to CGI out all the diversity hires.
I'm shocked it's not a recast. But they also
kind of already have, Aaron.
They shared this picture, which looks very interesting with the 7 dwarves there compared to what we've seen.
Yeah, it's like almost like those other dwarves were stand-ins.
Well, see, I suspect that leaked image we saw earlier this year, they were not so much stand-ins as they were going to be like digitally augmented, because they have a much more diverse look than what we see in this image. And I think the studio got the feedback, and then, like studios very often do, pivoted really hard the wrong direction without kind of learning what people were upset about. And now we've, at least from this image, we've got this really creepy, uncanny valley group of dwarves.
The one over her left shoulder there.
Why are you making fun of your kin that way, Beard?
And do you have it up on the screen, R2?
It says it's sharing it, but
I don't
not
know.
working.
There it is.
StreamYard is probably StreamYarding again.
Yep, I'm sorry about that.
Well, you know what you get now.
Move this man!
Oh, sorry.
Did you lose it? Lose it?
There
You
it
had
is.
the other
There
one.
we
You
go.
had the other one up before.
Okay. Yeah, this picture, yeah, I mean, it's entirely different than what we've seen, but yeah, over her left shoulder, is that Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine?
It kind of looks like it.
Beard, you look. You. I think you're in there too with your hoodie and your beard.
Off to the right there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. They caught me how I really look. This is just a weird way to go with having all these like full-size actors that if they're actually in the shot and going to have to be CG'd out, doing that to a character that's of completely different stature makes it much more difficult.
And
it's just
there were the original picture. I don't know if you have that R2, but that was quite a few different looking people.
Yeah.
And then you get this, and it's like, they're all white because you wanted them different colors.
Which is kind of weird because, like, this actually looks a little bit more like if you were to bring that original cartoon into reality, but it's also so much uncanny valley. I don't like it.
It vaguely reminds me of like the claymation specials when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
But, of course, on the other hand, I also saw one earlier today that somebody slapped the Brazzers logo on, so that got a good laugh out of me.
Look this picture here. Like, look at I wish you could put them side by side, but it's like we were told these were the dwarves.
Oh, one of them is.
Well, actually, they weren't the dwarves. They are the 7 magical creatures.
Okay, well then now they're back to the dwarves.
Yeah, I guess so.
But there's just nothing other than the actual dwarf there in the front. But I mean, there's nothing that any of them have anything similar with that previous picture.
The one guy might have a little bit of a beard. The guy in the back with the hoodie on.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this was this image, whatever it was originally intended to be, it's going to be color graded. Other special effects going to be added in, so it wasn't going to look as plain as it does right here. But they really went a different direction with it, and I think you're right, Aaron. I think that's partly why it's delayed so long. Is I think they're basically redoing every shot that these characters are in.
But the other thing, though, too, this might have been like essentially, I want to say what they call blocking in the industry, where because that's not even Rachel Zegler there. Was this all just them getting actors in there for reference?
Maybe, but if you're going to go with really short characters, it would make sense to not use characters that are 5-6 feet tall to kind of set things up.
But I wonder if it's that. I mean, Disney's not the most competent company these days, so
you don't say.
Who knows? We'll know when the movie comes out, I guess.
No, I'm gonna go with the original lineup was much more stunning and brave than the final product will be.
Yeah, and then Nicole did say, all of these years, Warwick Davis has been an advocate of dwarfism, while Disney has got to be rolling his grave. Yeah, rolling his grave. Yeah, maybe.
Yes, that's kind of weird because you have Warwick Davis on one end, then you've got Peter Dinklage on the other that basically fought before those roles were even cast against using.
I like how he says he doesn't like to do stereotypical little people roles, but
that's great for him because he can get the big budget stuff. Like all the other people out there could have used that work.
Meanwhile, 7 other people of diminutive stature lost out on a chance to get a career-making job. Well, I think he's just a selfish bastard and didn't want the competition.
He's just mad because he's too short for the grocery store.
Well, I was going to say,
they make those little carts.
With the news here, there might be 7 jobs for little people again with the Daily Wire coming out with their own live-action Snow White.
This little teaser trailer was pretty cool, and Brett Cooper, she's the new star over there at Daily Wire, and she actually the girl singing the song in the teaser is her. That's actually her singing. Yeah, and
she sounds great. I don't think it's in this article, but there was another one that said like she made the comment that it's not going to be this kind of like super right-wing talking point sort of film that's going to stick close to the source material, which is interesting because I just read the original story last night, and that is a dark tale.
Yeah, they usually are. Yeah, Disney made them more happier.
Well, Daily Wire is launching a family channel.
It's already been launched. Yeah.
Okay.
Bent Key. It went live a week ago. Yeah.
Okay. But this is going to be the first movie that they do for it.
Yep.
So.
And it was kind of a jab at Disney too, because this announcement was made on the 100th year of Walt Disney, so anniversary. So that's pretty cool.
It does make you wonder how scared is Disney of this film.
Well,
I don't know if they're scared. They might be concerned.
I'd like y'all's opinion on this question. Do you consider this actually a competitor to Disney's release?
It's not a competitor, but it could be something different that other people will notice, and then they might start talking about it more than the other one. So even though that one will probably make more money, but they'll talk about this one more, just like they did with that one about human trafficking, and the mainstream media was trying to push it. Yeah, it was trying to push it down. They'll probably do the same thing with this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if anything, it's Disney Plus where it would do the most harm. Maybe not against the Snow White movie, but again, just depending on how they do, and how well they make it for kids, but also too, can they make it good enough to where it's like a Pixar film, right? Or at least an older Pixar film where it was for kids, but adults loved it.
Yeah, there's something in there for the grown folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I mostly concluded this because a lot of people are talking about it. That it's like a direct challenge to Disney, and it's not, because unless they release it even for a limited run in theaters, you can't compare the two.
Money wise and theater wise, no. But as far as story and film, who knows? We'll see.
The other thing about it is too, you got to realize it's not like they're going to be siphoning off a lot of viewers necessarily, because they're not the people that are more prone to go watch something from the Daily Wire already aren't going to spend their money on the Disney movie. I mean, they might catch it on streaming when it shifts over, but they're not going to go see it in the theater.
But Daily Wire and Bent Key, they're two separate apps, and there's no advertisement or anything on Bent Key for Daily Wire. So unless you know what Daily Wire is, you have no idea that they're one and the same. And they did that on purpose because they just want to give family just downright normal content that's not not political heavy either way.
I do think that's still going to be an uphill battle, because everything that talks about this film is going to link it to Daily Wire, even though it's going to be on Bent Key. So I see what they're doing, but I think it's going to be a fight for them to have that.
Yeah, but the normies don't know. The normies won't. They'll just hear about it. They'll just see it. They'll see a new app. They'll download it. They'll check it out. They'll go watch it.
You're a lot more optimistic than me. Oh, you sweet summer child. Bring it on.
Well, just go up if you want the glass to be half full, and just go down if you want it to be half empty. Beard.
I don't care as long as there's a tasty beverage in it.
Just saying with JT there, Mr. Positivity, and then Beard.
Oh, yes.
I just know normal people, and they have no, like that they're not in this little corner. They have no idea what Daily Wire even is.
Yeah, I agree with JT on that. I mean, there's people, that have no idea.
No idea. Is. They're like clueless. So, this is what it is.
And if anything, are going to be like, Brett Cooper, who's that actor? What's he been in?
What's funny is a lot of people were attacking this movie. They had no idea who she was. They're like, oh, why did you hire a YouTuber to do a movie? Well, she wasn't. She originally started as an actress in Hollywood. She was around everything you're complaining about, and she decided to step away and make her do this kind of stuff. So she went from actor YouTube back to this. So
Yeah,
anyone who tells
on,
you that, they don't know what they're talking about.
Wasn't she on like Pretty Little Liars? Wasn't that the show? That was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And her mom kept her away from a lot of the stuff that other kid actresses or actors go through. Her mom protected her from a lot of that weird stuff that most kid actors get involved with.
Yeah.
That's
The
rare
fact
in
that
Hollywood.
her parents named her Brett. Dude, really?
Your parents named you Broba.
Yeah, your parents named you Nerdy.
And your middle name, Neo.
Yeah. Actually, he has like 3 middle names: Nerdy, Neo, aka Broba Fett.
What kind of name is Aka?
It's Swahili, isn't it?
Oh, I think you're right.
Let's see. What did you say, Beard? Me
I think
too.
it's
Nicole.
German for Brett.
He's laughing at us. Yeah. Oh, here you go. I just got a beautiful copy of the Brothers Grimm's book. All right, cool. Awesome. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm curious of what it will look like. I wouldn't be surprised if it's halfway decent. Most of the Daily Wire stuff kind of is. So
Yeah, I think like with a lot of things that we're seeing, any kind of alternative entertainment or alternative media platforms outside of YouTube or things like that. YouTube, sorry, don't cut us off right now. It's important to at least give it a shot, give it a fair take, because if you don't, then it's never going to have a chance to survive, and we'll be stuck in one spot with one option.
And I just had a word of mouth. The Sound of Freedom took off. So
yeah,
but
no one knew.
Is kind of funny too, the fact that they are trying to make it be true to the source material and just purely be a family film, not have any political agenda, yet the Disney film has a political agenda and they've been vocal about it having a political agenda and not sticking to the source material.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we'll see.
For a second, I thought, who's Brett Copper?
Normies. Oh, great! They gender swapped Snow White. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for this one. To be honest.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like I said, it'll be interesting to see if they stick with the original story, because she dies like 4 or 5 times in that story. It's rough.
Is she like a zombie?
You're gonna have to read it. Get some culture in your life.
German female Jesus. That's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one.
But no, it's basically the evil queen that makes many attempts on her life, and then she kind of dies, but is revived, and kind of dies again, is revived again.
I mean, maybe because
it's
she's
basically
eating,
a cautionary tale about letting strangers into your house.
Well, maybe because she's eating our first sponsor.
Prune candy.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with prune candy.
Yeah, maybe she's eating prune candy, and that's why she's living.
It'll keep you regular.
Aaron's like, what am I watching?
I'm just enjoying it over.
What is this? More Harry Potter stuff. Okay, great.
So it's come out some interesting news regarding the Fantastic Beast films, and this is talking about David Yates, even to a surprise, and that's he did the first 3 films, and I think he thought that was all that there was going to be, and J.K. Rowling said there's going to be 5 films, so.
Yeah, she was doing some sort of like press thing, and it wasn't even like an official announcement. He just like found out secondhand by seeing the clip of it.
So is he not going to do it?
Well, right now everything I think is on a standstill because of what's been going on in Hollywood. But
well, even before that, if I remember correctly, Warner Brothers new leadership came in and they gutted everything and canceled a ton of things. That's at the same time that they not only scrapped but destroyed everything for Batgirl. And that's also about the same time that the worst of Ezra Miller was coming out, and that's after Johnny Depp was kind of
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
acquitted, and like everybody was against them at that point. They had no goodwill among the populace.
Well, I forgot Ezra Miller being in these films.
Hey Lisa, good to see you. Oh no, this rich lady wants me to do more paid work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff has been put on hold with.
So Nicole's a Harry Potter
Hollywood.
fan. She says, "Well, I've always known there'll be another. It wasn't finished in regards to Fantastic."
Yeah.
But the other thing, isn't HBO Max doing a Harry Potter show?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I also kind of wonder, did they put this on hold because of that show?
Maybe. I heard they're switching out Harry. He's going to be a lady. It's going to be
Harry is now
Sally Potter.
You broke Aaron. It doesn't happen very often.
No, Aaron broke himself because I'm trying really hard to contain what my response to that was.
Sally Potter
was still born Harry though.
Yeah. I know that the story isn't finished. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I watch YouTube channels that talk about it because I find the lore to be interesting, but it's actually watching the films or reading the books never really grabbed my attention. So I knew the story wasn't over, but when they first shut things down, they made it sound really certain that they were just done and they weren't going to be finishing it. I think this is probably Hollywood speak for being on an indefinite pause, and it'll be on an indefinite pause for like 20 years before they just decide to redo the entire thing. Because I can't see them finishing this and getting any more of their audience back, because they kept losing audience every single film. The numbers that came back were worse and worse. And now that they're going forward with the HBO Max show, that's where they're going to want to put their money, and that's where they're going to want to put their viewership. They're going to want to focus on that era of the storyline again. I just don't see them coming back to it.
Well, Nicole says there's like all kinds of unfinished storylines they haven't done.
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading the books with my son. This is the first read for me too, and they've been really good. I mean, I don't know if we'll end up reading the Fantastic Beasts, just because those movies are okay to me. Like, they're not nearly as good as the Harry Potter. And I also kind of feel like with all the drama in making these, and with you had Johnny Depp come on, and the fact that he got let go and they got a new actor, like I feel like that turned a lot of people off. Not that they don't like Mads Mikkelsen, but I think just messing with everything has been a turnoff.
Probably. Well, most people got turned off too by some of the actors, but yes.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Some of the actors, some people are turned off by the author.
Yeah, both sides.
Yeah, that actually leads into the question I was going to ask. I was going to actually put you in the hot seat, Aaron, because I know you have opinions and you don't mind voicing them sometimes. Do we actually think that Warner Brothers would want to bring J.K. Rowling back to have a more hands-on, because she would have to be there to write the finishing films, considering rather some of the things that she's been very firm on her opinions on how she says things.
Yeah, and honestly, most of her opinions and beliefs are still very much left-leaning. It's just she got hit with that turf label, and that was, for a brief period. I honestly, I could, the way things are trending right now, and we're getting a lot of societal pushback, and they're, that I could see Hollywood deciding to go in both feet, because they tend to overcompensate every time they try and catch a societal swing. I mean, the prime example of, when they started leaning with the more woke stuff, for lack of a better way of putting it without going into a 20-minute explanation, they jumped in with both feet. They're okay, we're going to take traditionally male characters, we're going to race swap them, gender swap them, and everybody's going to love us. And then they're like, oh shit, everybody doesn't love us now. Let's go really hard back the other direction, because they haven't learned anything about like moderation or just telling a decent story and not worrying about pandering to somebody. Because they still have that mindset of, well, if we do what the loud voices say, we will appease everyone, and then everyone will love us and give us their money, instead of just worrying about doing a good job. So
Yeah.
I really, I wouldn't be surprised if they did say, yeah, we're going to finish the series, and then they're just going to go really hard the other way. Like, oh no, we're now we're on your side. And then the people that they offended that group by are now going to be all bent out of shape. And it's, that's the other reason, like my nerdism is all kind of focused on stuff that happened like pre-2008, because nobody gave a shit back then.
Well, the other thing too, I mean, with race swapping is not really the race swapping, but every time they do it, the character just becomes, you know, they're essentially their being is just based on their looks. There's no depth, there's no true character there. They're just,
what is this?
Plus, Hollywood's got something against.
What is happening
gingers.
here?
I do not know.
YouTube user Matthew Perry, guys, I'm fine. Chill.
What?
Well, welcome to the channel, Ghosts of Matthew Perry.
Kind of prepping for this, I didn't include it. I probably should have. Came across another article where Stephen King actually came to the defense of J.K. Rowling for her opinions. He's like, and he's got some very extreme opinions too, and has condemned her for condemning him over certain the things they disagree on. But he came out and basically said, like, praised her most recent book, and people asked him, how dare you? How can you possibly do this? And he kind of pointed out, like Aaron did, most of her views still align with the most of Hollywood. And it's would be a shame for people to have a difference of opinion that would just drive a wedge between them and completely isolate them from anybody else, which is a weirdly level-headed thing coming from Stephen King these days.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I mean, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan either, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions on either side of this.
Yeah. Again, it's another thing we're just going to have to wait and see, but thought there was enough there that there would be enough differing of opinions on potential some things, because I don't know. There is a potential there for everything to get real messy before it gets better, but I mean, maybe Aaron's right. Maybe they're just going to pivot hard and act like nothing happened.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, and really quick, what Nicole said, yeah, too. I mean, the fact that, you know, Johnny Depp was found innocent, yet was essentially punished, and then, yeah, you had another person in that film who was terrorizing an island, and you know, also doing some pretty awful stuff with law enforcement chasing him down.
Yep.
And
I mean, he is the Mad Goose Wizard.
Yeah, I mean, but just it's
I mean, none of his movies got pulled. What the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And we do have another J.K. Rowling story. I was gonna say Beard. Should we get into that, or?
Well, that was just kind of linked to like what I said about would they take her back, and that just kind of comments on some of her statements in the past. I mostly just included it for reference in case we needed to pull it up, but it's not important.
If you say so.
Next story is an interesting one. I have not been watching the show. I watched the first season and was not a fan. But the new season is out of Loki 2, and
I'm not watching this.
It's had a strong viewership in 3 days. A lot of the things that they compare it to are numbers based off of 5 days. The first 5 days of it being on, but
in the way they say they calculate it, it's like length of the episodes, like, or total watch time divided by length of the episodes, but that's still fuzzy math, because if like 20 million people watch 5 minutes of it and decide this is not for me, that adds up to a lot of minutes watched. That will count as a win. And streaming numbers are already just such a gray area.
They are
very arbitrary.
There's not like a standard of what's classified as a watch.
Yeah, and I think based from what I've seen, a couple of YouTube folks who've been making videos on episodes of this show, that their viewership for those reaction videos are way down from what they expected based on how season 1 did.
Nicole says the last episode was good. She's watching.
I think my wife has been watching this.
I'm watching it too. I thought it really dropped off. I didn't like how I don't know. It just some of the eccentricities of Victor Timely, basically another version of Kang. It felt really forced and just didn't resonate with me, but we'll see. The director says the last 2 episodes are the best of the season, so I don't know. I'm not totally out on it yet, but it's losing me.
Well, we'll trust you. Your opinion.
I've been trying to watch it, but my problem is I don't really get to watch much TV. So it's like I turn it on at like 9 o'clock at night, and then fall asleep in front of the TV. And it's not any commentary on the quality of the show, because I haven't made it past the credits yet on the first episode. I've restarted it 3 times, but the little music kicks in and was like, and then 45 minutes later, my wife's telling me I should go to bed. So,
yeah. Well, I will give them this, and I don't think it was intentional, but the way
what is that?
That's data from in Short Round.
Yeah, and I totally agree with Nicole Marie. He was a fantastic addition.
Okay.
So here's the thing: is if you can make yourself watch this in its own little bubble, totally separate from the rest of the MCU, it's much more enjoyable.
Okay.
And I don't think that was done intentionally, because I don't think they had a roadmap when they made season 1. And I think they wrote themselves into a corner where they basically have to make it like its own self-contained little bubble universe. And though I don't read comics, if you are a comic book reader, you're already kind of used to doing that, where you read the Avengers line and then you read the Captain America line. And maybe there's a little bit of crossover, but for the most part, they're their own storylines that have nothing to do with each other. If you can kind of make yourself watch this season that way, I think it's much more enjoyable.
Well, I mean, typically it doesn't always happen too with comic books. I mean, but they typically try to be cohesive with those separate storylines.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I have no interest in watching this. For me right now, the MCU is dead. I pretty much, the first handful of MCU of Disney Plus MCU shows I tried watching, and the majority of just being really disappointing with what they did, and almost to the point of just disappointing and making me sad. I
will give them a little bit more credit on this. And really, I'm kind of like you, R2. I didn't have any desire to watch this, but if I was going to be on anyone's videos where they talked about it, I wanted to have my own opinions and not just base them on other people's reaction videos. They actually built a lot more sets. They relied a lot less on the volume to be their background. There's one point where they go back to the Chicago World's Fair, and there is a lot of 360-degree sets built where they can walk around buildings and film from any angle. And it all looks really good because it's a physical set. And I think the director
is going back to practical.
Yeah, I think the director said that he wants to make that more of a thing going forward. And I would love to see that. If nothing else comes out from this series or this season of this show, but maybe moving back towards practical stuff and not relying on a jumbotron behind you. Man, bring it on.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, I hope it, too, the director's right about the last 2 episodes where you watch them and you go, yeah, it was really, really good. So
yeah, keep us updated, Beard.
Yeah, it started out with a really fantastic premise that could have gone a lot of different ways, and I think they narrowed it down too quickly, but it's only like 6, 7 episodes. And I do see a couple of interesting ways they could take these last 2 episodes based on how the previous one ended. So I'm not totally given up on it yet, but I'm not all in either. I think that's the safest way to approach most Disney stuff these days is like a cautious dog accepting a treat. Like, I'm really hungry and I want that, but I don't like
no dog is cautious on a treat.
Oh.
I did remember seeing you post about that, Nicole.
Yeah.
That you guys enjoyed it.
I've never seen it, and I've actually heard that it was better than most people thought it. Like most naysayers thought it would be, but it's wasn't watched by anybody because the character has never really found a foothold like all the other big names.
I just never had an interest because I'm definitely not the target demographic,
Yeah.
Middle-aged white guy. Nope.
Yeah. Well, before you do your next article, we like to show commercials here, and it's the spooky season.
It is.
I have one. I don't know if you remember this commercial. It's of a toy. I think I showed it to you. I can't remember. But this was. You tell me if you remember this toy or not? Like I said, we like to show old commercials on here because we usually after the weekend is for the past. We like to review old movies from the past, and stuff like that. So here we go. Ready?
The hit you make and remake into the most monstrous monsters imaginable.
Now for the test. It works!
Monster Face comes with everything shown here. Monster Face, the gruesome monster hit you make and remake into.
Yeah, I remember that. That was
Face?
kind of in the same vein as the creepy crawlies.
Yes,
it was. Yes,
yeah,
you're absolutely right.
I had a friend of mine's little brother had that.
Did he scare his mom like that?
No, she did not react. She was more scared about what the slime that comes out of it was doing to her carpets.
Oh, she wasn't like tossing and throwing her salad.
Oh, I never really asked her how she felt about salad tossing, but she just did kind of give off that vibe. I mean,
I knew it.
Oh my God, that is funny!
I could never get my parents to, specifically my mom, to buy me any of those toys that had slime or things like that because she did not want to have to clean it up.
Oh, yeah, Monster Face, yeah, Monster Face.
No chance in our house.
I think that's what behind. Yeah. No, it's just like the creepy crawlies. There was fun stuff that you could create, and then
or the one that you could make the different gummies with.
Make
Remember
a mess.
that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
those were cool.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we always show those because it's always fun to go down memory lane, and Archie's like tells me if you had it or not. So
those old commercials too they were so rad. Everybody was so hyped for everything.
Yeah, it was everything. Yeah, was so intense and extreme.
They made every toy exciting, regardless if it was or not. So,
yep,
and it worked.
Oh yeah, it worked.
Because you would buy that, you would ask your mom to buy that for you, and you would use it maybe once or twice, and then throw it in a box, and then 40 years later, you're like, "Oh, I remember this."
Yeah, you squeeze the slime out.
In a garage sale somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just imagine myself looking back now. Young me would have like squeezed the slime out once or twice and looked around and been like, "Why is nobody high-fiving me?"
I would.
I'm not gonna lie. Occasionally, like I walk down the toy aisle and I'm like, "What crap could I just buy and stash for 20 years, and then, I can sell it for $1,000."
I mean, yeah,
You
the
never
occasional
know.
$20 to $30 random purchase is not a terrible investment, all things considered.
You got to go for the stuff that's like not in bulk. Like nowadays, if you bought a Star Wars toy, usually they're not very valuable later on because there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
You usually have to go for the things that are in limited or release to get anything out of them now.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking too, especially for old farts like me, where like I had one of the original Millennium Falcons when I was a kid. And,
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. And when I was maybe 10 or 11, my brother and I completely disassembled it to get the motors out of it because it had a little motor that would rotate the radar dish on it. Yeah, we wanted the motor for something, so we completely demolished the thing. I couldn't get it put back together, right? We lost a bunch of screws and it wound up in the trash. And then,
this brother want to make prison tattoos.
I can neither confirm nor deny that we may have been making prison tattoos.
That reminds me, yeah, I used to have the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. And that thing was massive. It would never fit in my room. So I would have to always disassemble it and then build it. And I would play with it outside. One day I left it outside and got rained on. And got weird and grew things. Spiders were living in it. So my mom was, you're not keeping this anymore. And that's
we all know how you feel about spiders too.
And that's a rare toy now, is that massive aircraft because it fit the jet. You remember the G.I. Joe jet that was like this big? It would fit on there. So it was massive. So, but yeah, whatever. Is what it is.
Man, I got like a G.I. Joe knockoff and a pile of dirt to play in.
Oh, you had the ones where they had like instead of like the real rubber bands, it was just
you had Coast Guard Carl.
G.I. George.
Yeah.
A real American.
You had the they weren't like, remember, because G.I. Joe's you would stretch them.
the little rubber stretchy thing in there.
Yours just had like string. It would just
it was a twist tie off a loaf of bread.
Yeah, basically. No, my parents were smart not to get me too many real big, expensive, complex toys, because I would take them apart just because I wanted to know how they were put together, and I would never put them back together correctly.
Yeah,
Something was always broken or left over.
Well, you were in Texas as a kid, right?
Oh yeah.
So I imagine like a cheap toy, then it would have been like Federale Jose. That's what you had.
That'd have been an upgrade.
Fun times.
Actually, funny thing, I found out a lot of the stuff I took for granted when I was a kid was actually like pretty awesome, because my dad picked up a lot of my brothers and my toys at different places where he worked in and around Chicago. And I had a full fleet of Robotech ships and stuff. No idea what they were, just knew they looked cool, and they had all these little flip open ports and they transformed and all this other stuff. And I'm like, these are lame. These aren't G.I. Joes. What the hell, Dad? And then when I got to be a teenager, I'm looking back at all these toys I had and I'm like, this shit's awesome. Wow. Good job, Pops. Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes we know better. So what else we got now? What's the next one?
We have got something we all, I think, care greatly about, the SAG-AFTRA. Say what's it even called right now? A strike. I'm not kidding. I almost said insurrection.
I only brought this up because of the stupid fact they put out a memo. It first sounded like it was an actual limitation on what costumes that they could wear for Halloween.
Ticketing.
But it's more of a suggestion, because they got called out by people like Ryan Reynolds. Like, they would say, like, you can dress as ghost or vampire, but you have to be careful not to dress as something that's like, supporting a product or some
licensed property.
Yeah, something that we're boycotting right now. So
we know you're actually Deadpool, but don't wear the costume that you stole from the set to go take your kid trick or treating.
Yes. I mean, the original kind of wording when it came out was like, it suggested like even their kids couldn't dress up as like Batman or something. Which is just, that's taking it too far.
Yeah. And then Ryan Reynolds, did I miss it? Where's the rest of the article? Where he talks about
they may have updated it.
Yeah. Maybe it's gone. Well, essentially he kind of
here it is. He said, I look forward to screaming scab at my 8-year-old all night. She's not in the union, but she needs to learn.
Well, what was she gonna dress up as? Like, wasn't he like mentioned what her costume was gonna be?
I don't remember that.
Okay. There was another one I remember reading where she was gonna dress up as like,
so they're saying that you couldn't dress up like a Deadpool or Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you'll be supporting
my studio.
My son's
former SAG-AFTRA president Melissa Gilbert called him out. And this is what you guys come up with. Literally, no one cares what anyone wears for Halloween. Mandy Moore called him out. Lots of folks, especially parents in Hollywood, were just like, "This is stupid. This is not fixing anything or helping anybody."
My son's not supporting SAG. He's actually going as Captain America, so he's going to support me.
Yeah, you do have the ultimate rights to that. So
yeah.
I believe my son's going is, are you shitting me, old man? I'm 24. He doesn't like it when I ask him.
I mean, technically every Halloween costume is supporting something. So
yeah,
in the movies.
I mean, I know it's a little bit switch from that topic, but there wasn't a lot there. I just wanted to laugh at the ridiculousness of overly rich people being demanding for more money and not actually caring about the little people that they pretend they care about.
Yeah.
But I figure you guys with trick-or-treat age kids have plans for costuming for them. Are y'all dressing up as anything?
I am, yes. But like I said, my kid is going as Captain America, so
yeah,
he's dressing as me.
Yeah. So you're the Bucky Barnes in this.
You got him a little beard, and
no, he's before beard. He's before beard.
Yeah.
I won't ruin the surprise costume.
Okay, we won't spoil that.
Not gonna pry.
R2, you got anything?
No, I got nothing.
You're curmudgeon like me.
Yeah.
You guys are just looking at this all wrong. You got to do what I do. I'm going to go as thing passed out in the front yard that's supposed to be handing out candy.
Yeah, R2's going to go.
Costume.
He's going to go as the guy who goes on YouTube channels and makes fun of people in chats. That's what he's going to
go. Aaron, I might steal that costume idea. I can definitely pull it off here. It's still going to be I'm
going to be YouTube user number 4.
Yeah. You know what he did to me last night? I was streaming a game, and he goes, "I'm sitting on the couch here, blaming the dog on my farts." That's what he told me.
Yes. You don't have to give away his entire personal life. I mean,
he put it on my chat. It was on live, so there's no,
fair point. That is basically the equivalent of yelling in the front yard.
Privacy is completely gone at that point.
I'm dressing up as Pink Lady tomorrow. Okay. And then Princess Peach on Monday. And Minnie Mouse on Tuesday. Wow.
Wait, a pink lady from Greece, or you're going to like cover yourself in pink body paint? Just be a pink lady.
Like Blue Man Group?
Mm-hmm.
Beard, are you going to dress up?
I haven't dressed up in more than a decade. Probably. No, wait, there was that one time, but I was kind of obligated if I wanted to get any that night. So never mind.
Who you should dress up as? Your ape girlfriend.
I'm gonna have to tell that story one day so y'all can realize how boring it is.
Did you know that Beard dated a monkey girl?
Yeah.
She
like how you're like, your logo is an ape.
Bushels of bananas together.
He actually dated an ape woman.
Hey. Yeah.
Grease.
It happens. Oh, so it's pink grease you're going to be covered in? That's innovative.
Pink slime. Yeah. So we're really curious on Beard's love life here.
It is so boring.
This is what the people want.
It might be boring to you, but it might not be boring to us.
Yeah, really, this is a bated breath moment.
I'm just gonna exit right now.
I mean, we all trust me. Me and R2 love a love story.
All right. Open your eyes.
R2, does your wife know you did that?
Who do you think was filming?
Oh, fair point.
All right. What was that?
Can't imagine where that came from.
Gee. I might have leaned on.
That wasn't my dog farting.
No, I would never be on Rose's face because Rose is a murderer. So
yeah, she is.
Yeah, there was plenty of room on that door. Damn it. Of course, on the other hand, it could have just been Jack realized, do I really want to have her follow me around for the next 20 years?
So, Beard, you dated a monkey woman. Tell us.
Yeah,
about
so back to the monkey lady.
Did you really like her peaches? Did she shake your tree?
did you? I mean, yeah. Did she do like a little dance for you and stuff like that? Like she was like.
The whole thing was that she and her mother ran a chimpanzee sanctuary. They had big, heavy-duty metal cages out back, like zoo quality and size, and they just took care of them. I was never told where they came from, and I couldn't even go back there to see them because they apparently get jealous of other people being around the people they consider their family.
You didn't want to take like a fistful of poo to the face?
No, definitely not. I also didn't want to chance one of those things getting through there because those chimpanzees are mean.
They actually had a chimpanzee. Oh my god,
chimpanzee.
a chimp farm, like a puppy farm.
Not really. They just took them in from wherever else they were that they weren't being cared for, and just tried to give them a decent life.
Did she have bubbles?
Bubbles?
Yeah, Michael Jackson's chimp.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't think so. Now, the only other thing that I know that they did with monkeys and things like that is there is and I'm sure everybody has something like this. Around Houston, we have gallery furniture. It is the crazy guy that used to dress up in a mattress called Mattress Mac. He's made a huge business out of being the furniture guy. And there was a period of time where they had these like 3 little, maybe capuchin monkeys or something like that. And Sarah and her mom made little clothes for them and would go out to the store every now and then and bathe the monkeys. There, the end. Now you know.
Is that slang for some type of sex, Beard? Bathe the monkeys?
I hope not. Oh.
Well,
Although
actually, Beard, I looked it up. She's famous.
I will say this. Hang on. Speaking of Wash the Monkey, we went on a date, and the band playing there, I knew the guy who was the lead of it because he would come out to where I worked at the time and like play some music for the residents of the assisted living place. Real good, nice guy, Billy Pope. And they were playing music, and we headed out before like the entire set was done. And we had talked beforehand, and she talked to him about like monkeys and things like that, and told the story about how they would wash the monkeys. And Billy had a few drinks in him, and as we're leaving in between songs, he like calls out to us. The whole restaurant turns and looks at us. He goes, "You headed out? Have fun washing the monkey." And she basically sprinted for the door.
What, kind of like this?
Monkey.
I'm quick.
Yeah. That covers most of it without getting into the not fun parts of how that's
Jacob
down
wants to
at
know if
the
she's
end.
good looking. He wants her number.
I don't have her number, Jacob, but yeah, she was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she teach you how to get termites out of a mound with a stick?
Oh man, how long till there's like videos of my face and like a monkey?
I'm gonna try and find an organ grinder.
Oh my god!
This is why we like bringing you on, Beard, because you let us laugh at you. That's all it is.
I laugh at myself, so it's all right.
Monkey see, monkey do.
That's it.
Monkey pee all over you.
That rhyme.
So Beard, was she hot?
Yes, and not actually a chimp. She was a human.
Orangutan.
With an affinity for chimps.
Well, I think we should wrap it up on that.
we should. Before we go, Aaron, do you have anything exciting coming on with the?
I like how Rick's like,
podcast?
yes, we're ending this.
Anything exciting? I do have one little thing going on. Got to actually go listen to my show if you want to know about it, because I'm not gonna divulge too much about it, because yeah, yeah, I want the streams. I want the plays. But
okay,
it's yeah, I mean, I've got some new stuff. I've started playing with using some video stuff, and going to be adding some exciting new things to the lineup as soon as I get it to where it doesn't look like a over caffeinated 12-year-old was trying to impress the girl that he likes at school and make something cool, and it really just sad little papers. So
okay,
yeah,
I mean,
but yeah,
where can they find you? Like Spotify?
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe I should actually. I'm terrible at like plugging myself for stuff. Oh, there's something that's going to get clipped. Fuck. No. Yeah. Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. I guess. Good bad. I'm every platform more or less. Or you can go to ihadtosayitpodcast.com, because I pay for the hosting and I think I get like 6 visits a month. So I'm like, I keep going, why do I pay for this again? I'm like, oh yeah, so I can say it's there. And
you had to say it's there?
Yeah, I had to say it's there. Yeah, and I've like, there's a page with like all the people I've collaborated with over the years. So you guys will be going on there now. Sorry. Guilt by association.
No, that's cool. We always like when other people share our stuff. We like to share our friends' stuff as well. And Beard, you're busy. What are you doing?
Oh, what am I doing next? I'm trying to take a little bit of a week off next week, not do too much. But while I pull this,
are you gonna go back to your lady friend?
Oh no, that's a bridge that was nuked. But while I'm pulling this up, I will say, folks, absolutely check out I Had to Say It. Aaron puts in the work, and even the times where he apologizes that he didn't have time to put in the work to fully research something, and it's more stream of consciousness shows, still fantastic.
Thank you.
And he's an opinionated man, so may not be up your speed, but it's worth checking out. And even if you don't always agree with things, I think he lays it out well enough that it should be able to kind of cross over between opposing sides. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, and I'm always willing to entertain other people's opinions. So if I really piss you off, go ahead and let me know. I'm more than happy to, have a dialogue about it, as long as it's not just going to be like, you suck, old man, you're canceled.
He's a much more level-headed curmudgeon than you might think.
Yeah. And I've also been told that if you just kind of tune out what I'm saying and just listen to the timbre of my voice, it's real easy to go to sleep.
I've been doing that the whole show.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So the only thing I have scheduled so far next week is joining Jacob Ironside on Tuesday for the old classic Dracula.
Oh yeah, he talked about that. He said he's really excited to have you on over there. So
it'll actually be a first watch for me, like many things on his channel. So We'll see.
And on here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Nicole and y'all famously like to point out, I don't watch movies.
We enjoy you, Beard. Don't worry.
Yes.
We just give you a hard time.
Question. Wait, you say old classic Dracula? You mean like the black and white one with Bela Lugosi, or
Yes.
do you mean like the? Okay, I was just gonna say because if you're referring to the one with Gary Oldman as Dracula and Keanu Reeves, and you're calling that old, I'm gonna get in my car and come to Texas and kick you in the junk.
I think he's talking about the one from like 1930.
Okay,
It was
no,
really weird when
that's the old one.
Keanu Reeves looked at Dracula and was like, "I know kung fu."
Now, if I was going to describe the one with Gary Oldman, I would describe it not necessarily as like an old classic, but more of an acid trip. Because that film is weird.
That should have been called Dracula, Blood and Boobs.
I like it. Like Dust Till Dawn.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then we're reviewing Ghostbusters on Monday.
We are, and I'm
I
hoping
forgot about that one.
Beard can join us for that. I do have a preview if you guys want to see.
Sure.
Ooh.
Switch me on.
I think we better split up.
Good idea.
Yeah, we can do more damage that way.
It's right here, right? It's looking at me.
He's an ugly little spud, isn't he?
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Such a fun film.
That'll be fun
very,
rewatch.
very
It's been a long time since I've seen
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's a good spooky film to watch on this spooky month. So yeah, it's fun.
is.
Can't wait to talk about it. It was like one of my first favorite movies when I was a kid. So can't wait to really dive into that. So.
It scared the crap out of me as a kid. I got to add it to our description, but I do want to give a shout out to Casey at White Bat Studios, who does that's music from them. They do a lot of like synthesized, what is it, copyright free music. So
Okay.
if you're ever looking for it, go check it out over there.
Awesome. One of the Beast movies. Yep.
Let's see. It's one of the beast things I've seen. Yeah.
Now
I got to pack things up and head out west to go find my fortunes in California.
I was going to say, speaking of beast women, what's the step up from dating a gorilla girl? Beard.
Elephant.
I don't know. I'm still trying to find one.
Yes, Elephant Rescue. Is that like the-
Or a rhino.
I would rather not have to potentially enter into a relationship where there is a lot of care needed for large creatures.
Well, maybe you could find somebody from like the Pitbulls and Parolees program or something. You know? I mean,
Oh yeah.
because then if she gets out of line, you call her PO, and then you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yep. Well, on that note, I am taking a break on Late Night with Cap. There is not going to be a live stream next week, but I might be playing some games, so you might see me going on playing Dead Space. So check that out. It'll be late at night, but yeah,
It's a good October game.
yeah, it tears the freaking crap out of me. I hate it. Scares me so much. Every corner is creepy. Don't like it, but it's fun.
And you might see me in the chat annoying him.
Yeah, talking about farts and dogs. Anyways, folks, it's been great. It's been a long weekend for me, and I will definitely can't wait to see you next Monday when we do Ghostbusters. So
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm looking
Marty.
forward to it.
Aaron, thanks again for coming on. Beard, likewise, also, and you're always welcome back, Aaron. If you ever
well,
wanna...
thank you. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Archie, you want to send us off?
Yeah, I'll do it. I think it's that one. Bye.